life was created in its present form 7,000 years ago by a fantastical creature from outer space! Bunk!
Good morning, afternoon, or night, my moth friends. Today I will be addressing a very serious topic to moths and discrimination against moths. So, you may know that there is only a butterfly emoji, no moth emoji. And this is a very serious topic to moths. If we have a moth emoji, moths and moth fans alike will feel much better and will not be and will have taken a step closer to not be discriminated against. Butterflies get all the love, and I will now show some moth pictures on screen to show you just how cute moths can really be. Please don't be afraid of moths, like they're just some bug, but think that butterflies are pretty. They get a lot of the attention, and it's really important to us moths that we will get as much as the love that moths and butterflies and everyone has. It is very important to all insects alike. I will put a link in the description for you to sign a petition about adding a moth emoji to get one step closer to moth love throughout the world. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Good morning, my beauties and bees. It is Saturday, 9:30 a.m. We are live from the Hive. It's good to see everybody out there today. I am in a right state today. I didn't have any time to do my makeup this morning, so y'all just gonna have to deal with this. Sorry, just woke up late, and everything went wrong. So I don't know if you've ever had a morning like that, but yeah. Godless Grady was asking who was talking. There's I thought I was looking for the link. I thought I had the link in just as part of my channel description below for that moth thing that kid was doing. I thought it was kind of sweet. It's a kid that's doing a petition to get moths added to the emoji list. It's just a little petition. I thought it was adorable, so I share it from time to time just to make sure everybody, if you feel like doing something like that, that you have the option to participate. It's not a big deal. Today is also for anybody out there in the. Almost forgot to tag this too. This weekend is the last. Today is the last day for the bug drive. So, you can still donate after that. It will just go towards like the Hive, but it won't go towards this bug order because I'm going to order these bugs next week. But the bug drive, I'm going to pin it in the comments here so that you guys can contribute if you want to. If you miss the bug drive, it's just done through Buy Me a Coffee. And we do we looked at some of the bugs last week, like $5 for some of them. So 1 cup of coffee, I got it a set for bugs, but you just buy one, you'll buy me a whole bug for $5. Right now we got, after they took their cut out of what we've got so far, it was like 211, which is awesome. That's going to be a great collection, but please keep in mind that we do whatever, the more I can get towards buying proper housing and stuff, the faster I can get rid of these, glass aquariums, because I don't want glass aquariums in my collection anymore. It's, I started that when I was, trying to do the repurposing kind of thing. So anybody who got rid of an aquarium, who was getting rid of an aquarium, I took it, because there are a lot of invertebrates that you can keep in aquariums, a lot of them, but and they're good for display, but I want to make what's best and healthiest for my invertebrates. So if I can replace those with ones with proper ventilation and things like that, we can dedicate these aquariums to being desert beetle habitats. And I can have like desert beetle habitats all over here in the window area. I got a huge one over there right now, but that's the goal is to eventually, the aquariums are going to be okay for most scorpions and the desert beetles and things like that. So please, if you have $5 to spare, why don't you consider buying me a bug? Consider it, and I'll pin it in the comment section so you guys can mull it over and make that determination if that's something you're interested in being part of. We will be doing a bug order stream shortly. I don't know when exactly. It's probably gonna be live from the Hive next weekend. We'll probably squeeze it in at the end of the show, as opposed to doing some HiveScience. Is probably how we'll do it. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm a mess. Like I said, everything went wrong this morning when I was getting ready. I had the whole show set up, right? Thought I had the whole show set up. Apparently I had it set up for 10:16 tonight. Is that what it was, Sandy? I had it set up for tonight. So that's why my half an hour notification didn't go out to you guys, which is why don't got quite as hefty as a startup turnout as we usually do, because we usually have a small group of dedicated swarm members just buzzing around out there in the old live chat, waiting for me to go live so they can say hi to me. But this morning it didn't go out, obviously, because I didn't, until 10 minutes till I was getting ready to start, I didn't realize I had the wrong time. That is how I do things around here, though. But I also lost an eyelash, which is a problem that I never thought that I would have. But as you grow older and realize these things are very real world issues. But I lost an eyelash this morning, so that started me off on the wrong foot. And so I replaced it, but yeah, it was a big fiasco for me, just for my personal mental health, not like on any kind of real impactful level, right? Not anything that's affecting the world. So good things are happening though. So I'm trying to be upbeat. Obviously last night we did the Tartaria thing with the Tartaria Rex video. I hope you all enjoyed that or were able to catch that. It was an episode of CryptoCorner Friday nights. Like clockwork. Anyway, like clockwork, except for Live from the Hive should be like clockwork too, and it's coming in with the wrong start times and stuff. Anyway, it's important that I ask that, because tomorrow we are going to be going even deeper into the realm of Tartaria when we have Megan Lewis of Digital Hammurabi. Now, I don't know how much Megan knows about this forbidden archaeology stuff. I don't know how much she knows about mud fossils and lost continents and maps and whether she's familiar with the Tartaria lore, where there was this big kingdom in the east that had already discovered North America. And speaking of discovering North America, definitely stick around for the CreationWatch episode today, because it's going to be, you'll enjoy it, I promise. Yeah, and definitely hit the thumbs up if you're out there. And we're still super close to 1K. My friend Mark Reed hit 1K last night. Congratulations, Mark. I think it was last night. It was either last night or yesterday morning. Either way, it's not going to be the same time for him, or not even the same day necessarily, because he's in Australia. Congratulations, though, to Mark Reed. Now, if you all aren't subscribed to Mark, you can get there through that link. And yeah, if you see his 1,000 subs post, you can pop in there and give him a good congratulations. Let's see if we can get the Hive there too. We have 40 some left to go, right? 30 some left to go. Where were we at? 966. So like 35 more subscribers. We can do this. We're gonna get there. I really do want to celebrate my 1,000 subscriber celebration with all of you. So stick around the Hive, and we are going to be diving into that. All right. So with all the housekeeping out of the way, I haven't even said hi to everybody. So hello, Sandy, Ring, Bugbot, of course, Deep Arcs, Tobin Templeman. We have Ryan, we have Godless Granny, Jason Jacoby, Pragmatic Crystal. Look at the trees. Hello, hello. Kendra, hey baby. Glad to see you and Tobin were able to make it in this morning. Yay, and you're both watching on different devices to give me 2 views. You guys are thebomb.com. Please consider, if you're not subscribing to the Hive, if you are subscribed, just remember to hit that thumbs up and make sure your bell notification is rung, so that when I do set the time right for my streams, that you're able to find me. Yeah, you do your hair, girl. I get it. I get it. It's important to maintain. All right, and who is ready to move into Cryptic Corner? Who wants to explore the strange and bizarre topic that we have on the docket today? I don't know if you all have heard about this here, but I'll see you over there and we'll see what's going on. Hello, hello. Welcome to Cryptic Corner. Hello, my beauties and bees. It is Friday night, and we're going to get a little creepy with it tonight. Actually, tonight's topic might be downright terrifying because it's something we haven't covered on here before. So, yeah, if this is your first time visiting, don't forget to hit the like button if you're not subscribed and you like what we're doing here. Obviously, you can subscribe to the Hive and catch all the crazy stuff that we get down to on this channel. If Cryptic Corner is your thing, we're here every Friday night. We like to look at some of those stranger things out there in the world, like aliens and ghosts and the paranormal and supernatural. We like to kind of crack them open, see what we can and can't debunk, see what's holding water, what really is a mystery and what is just a hoax or a falsification. We're going to look at it all as we move through Cryptic Corner. So this is recorded live from the Hive on Saturday morning. So if you want to be part of my live captive audience that's popping up over here. All you have to do is tune in every Saturday morning at 9:30, and you can participate live with me as I go through Cryptic Corner, and you'll be able to ask questions and engage with me on the show. But moving forward, let's talk about the subject matter on the docket today. So there's been a lot of talk about AI and what are we going to do with AI comes and gets us. What are we going to do when it gets smarter than us, when it gets when it gets stronger than us? Well, according to one report, that's already happened. So we are going to be exploring that just a little bit here, and I hope this isn't too tinfoil hat for you, because, you know, to some extent that this is provocative idea of what could come to pass. But let's move into the killbots. Let's move into the killer robots of Japan. Now, this is Linda Moulton Howe. You guys might not know who she is, but if you're in, or maybe you do, it depends on what you're here for. If you're here for Cryptic Corner, you might know who she is, because she's a kind of, I don't say she's famous. She's a legit journalist in her younger days. She won awards and stuff, but she started getting into going down the route of, you can't hear the video. Let me fix it. It must have switched when I do the headphones. Give me a second. Just a moment here. Why is the... Hold on, I'm still here. Just it's not giving me my choice to pick up headphones off of here. It's gonna make me switch because my headphones aren't on the drop-down menu. Usually it lets me switch them. It's never happened to me before, I swear. No, it happens. Stuff like this happens to me all the time. But I just take it in stride. There they are. I don't know, I had to close out of it and go back in. There we go. Let's see.
But the fourth robot began restoring itself, and somehow...
Okay, let's start all over again. We aren't that far into it. Okay.
Hello there. So, while ago, I uploaded a video talking about the allegations made by the conspiracy theorist Linda Moulton Howe on a terrifying incident that took place in a Japanese robotics lab where 4 autonomous robots killed 29 scientists before they could finally shut them down by dismantling them completely.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind.
So they're talking about a Japanese lab that was developing military robot technology, and the robots went AWOL, right? It gets wilder, so hang in here.
The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the third, But the fourth robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. And
it is a good thing that the Avengers were there to stop it when it did that, because if it didn't, they weren't, then Ultron would be our king, right? This is the plot to Age of Ultron. Am I right? I don't know if any of you all watched the Marvel Universe or any of that stuff. I mean, it was like the most popular fictional universe that currently, but it's like the standard model. But yes, yeah, rubber bullets don't feel good either. I've never been hit by one, but I've heard that they're just super painful. Or the sandbags. Yeah, so I'm questioning the security protocols of this lab where this robot can just uplink to a satellite and learn how to make itself bigger and stronger or whatever. Yeah, let's continue on.
This next sentence is a quote. I'm writing this down. I've been doing this for years. This is serious, Linda, but you're never going to hear about this in the news.
A lot of viewers were skeptical, while others did not rule out the possibility of this actually happening. So, and she, like I said, she's reports on like cattle mutilations and alien technology, and it's not. There's people who here. Let me show you because it was in the comments. The very first comment here. Linda Moulton Howe is not a conspiracy theorist. She's a tireless investigative reporter in the Dorothy Kilgallen mold, who chooses to focus on topics which are taboo in the mainstream media. You go, girl. And she has like 180 people, 85 people saying, woo, yeah, she's not a conspiracy theorist. But yet, if you look into the stuff that she reports on, yeah, it's like secret alien bases and things like that. Military, it's like super military technology, alien technology, that kind of stuff. That's what she's mostly talking about. I found this clip from an interview she did after the fact, where she explains in detail how she got this information and who was the whistleblower that actually conveyed this news to her in the first place. In the clip I'm about to show you, she also talks about how Elon Musk knew about these kinds of experiments and how he warned the world.
Can we not escape from Elon Musk? Can the Hive not be a Musk-free zone? Is that beyond our expectations for the show? No. Sometimes I will talk about Elon Musk because dude has some wild stuff when it comes to super tech nonsense like this. Elon Musk is on the cutting edge. When it comes to the AI scare, Elon Musk is responsible for a lot of it. So we're not going to get away from Musk, and I don't think we should back off of him either. So, yeah. I was just joking about not being able to get rid of him because, I spend so much time on Twitter.
Before this incident even happened.
July, August of 2017. In the prior year, I had been communicating with a Marine who had retired from the Marines but was working special forces. And he had been communicating to me about a number of ET-related revelations, secrets that he...
See, and then she's like, ropes in the extraterrestrial stuff. This is the same level of credulity that you get with things like the Kandahar Giant. Some Marine that I trust them because they're a Marine said this, and I believe them. Yeah, do kryptonite bullets work on robots? I think we need like EMP bullets is what we need. Yeah, EMP bullets, or just magnet bullets. Magnet bullets that'll just
and a team of special forces were involved with. And so he had kept in touch with me, usually through short texts, or every once in a while, he would call and say, you're tapped, I'm tapped, I'm only going to speak for, and it would be like 30 seconds or a minute, and then hang up. And I understood why, and that was what we were doing. Well, it was in August of 2017. The phone rang, I picked it up, I knew his voice. Can't stay on the line long, but I want you to know that this week, which would have been I think second week of August 2017, in Japan, 29 humans were killed in a laboratory that was producing militarized robots by the Japanese for warfare.
Yeah. So I don't doubt one bit that all the governments in the Western world, or I guess Japan is not the Western world. I don't know why I said that. In the modern world are working on robotics and AI, military processes and stuff like that. Not just battle bots, but like satellite technology that's AI driven and can scan for activity, without having to have a human tell it what to look for. It can satellites that can check for stuff, and they're going to have AI communication systems that communicate with each other without any humans involved, and do the strategic positioning and things like that for optimal battle. They're actually using that in the Ukraine right now. A lot of their battle strategies are AI generated, right? They're letting the robots pick how they handle the Russian onslaught. And that's why when Putin predicted that Ukraine would fall in 3 days, this was unprecedented. They didn't anticipate this, that they'd have this super genius strategy generated by AI. And we're using robots and stuff too on the battlefield, but for the not nearly as much as it's not nearly having as much impact as the strategic system that they use. What was the name of it? I think I had a video pulled up about that too. As I was learning about this stuff to learn about this video, we might watch that just for. I'll go see if I can find it in a minute.
And then he went on to explain what he had learned, because they're in these units, that something like that would happen. They would receive information. And he said that the story was the 4 militarized robots were being made to be autonomous warriors. And that they don't know why, but the 4 rebelled or acted autonomously, and as they acted autonomously, they killed 29 humans in this lab, and whoever was left on the human side began pulling, this is the way he said, they began pulling the robots apart. They got 2 of them.
So you have like 29 scientists dogpiling a robot with a machine gun just firing around. Is that what's happened here? Yeah, the electric arrows from Zelda would probably work. Actually, don't they work good on the Guardians anyway? I thought the electric was... What is the... obviously, the super arrows and stuff are what you really want. But aren't electric arrows especially good against Guardians? It's been a long time since I played Breath of the Wild. But, yeah, I think that replacing our police force with robots would probably be a good idea. As long as the robots aren't programmed to be racist like the human ones are. That might actually make things a little bit easier for all of us if the police force was replaced by robots. What do you guys think? Can I run a poll while I have a pinned comment? I'm going to try. We're going to do a poll. Should police be replaced by robots? And these are going to be AI robots, so. There's pros and cons to that we could discuss, too. Maybe I should have an open room after this, and we can discuss replacing the police with AI. All right, let's move on. Hey, morning, Dr. Mordecai. Morning, Big Bad Mama.
Completely disassembled.
Native
We're working
atheist.
on the 3rd.
Oh, it's got a buffer because I paused for too long. Come on.
And then the analysis later was what happened with the fourth. The fourth was communicating with a satellite that they were teaching these militarized robots how to communicate with the satellites to get information on missions. And that the fourth robot was now extending up to the satellite and was searching for information about how to make itself stronger to take on, apparently, the remaining humans.
How to make itself stronger. What does that even mean, make itself stronger? You know, when you say, is it talking about, see, I would think it would be talking about strategy. I think that's where robots outperform us. That's how they're gonna defeat us if it actually does come down to that. It's not going to be because they're physically more imposing. That they get. It's not like, oh, this robot's trying to reinforce its body with titanium or something like that. Not to say that that couldn't be a directive that it could follow. I don't know. I don't know what kind of directives it had when communicating with the satellite, but I would assume that the satellite connection, like she said, for missions and things, is probably telling it how to deal with a situation. That's assuming that this happened at all. I don't for a second believe anything that Linda says here. I'm just giving her the benefit of the doubt to play devil's advocate to these thought experiments that she has about how these robots were responding.
What did they do exactly to that fourth? I don't know, but I understand they took it apart. Would they ever put them back together? So now, we're up to a point in August of 2017 where I'm hearing a story that is shocking, and
they didn't put in the what do they call what's the chip that robots have to have in fiction, Asimov's chip. What was there a name for it, or is it just called an Asimov chip? We should put Asimov chips in these robots, though. That sounds like something that they should have. And if that's the thing with soldier bots too. Like, you how are you stopping them from deciding? Yeah, Chappie. I haven't watched that yet. I saw it on my Netflix menu years ago. Is it good, Tsunami? Let me know, because I haven't seen it. Maybe I should watch it. But yeah, I don't know. When I say that the police should be replaced by robots, I don't necessarily mean that there'd be no humans involved at all. I mean that, like, every patrol should have to have a robot with them, right? A robot that records for the people and that instructs the human officers or officer. Could be like a robot human partner, or two humans and a robot. A human, a robot, and a dog. I don't care. Having a robot on the police force with each individual to perform functions that the human can't, to instruct the human on how to handle and de-escalate situations and how to properly. Yeah, I mean, basically a robot nanny for police officers, but also, able to perform other functions too. Like, it would give them advantages of, like, having a drone that maybe it can deploy to scan areas, or have access to psychology files to how to de-escalate mental health crises and things like that without escalating. That's the biggest problem with modern police forces, that they escalate. Every time I watch any of these, I used to watch like frauditor videos and stuff, but the more I watched them, the more I started most frauditors are assholes and idiots and just being edgelords, but the more and more I watched them, the more I started empathizing with the alleged frauditors who are out auditing these people, because while they're just being very rude to public people, when the cops get involved, that's when you see that most of these officers don't even understand what their job is, and having a robot to keep them and to say, yeah, this when someone says, oh, they want you to stop filming or whatever, and you're on public property, The robot wouldn't say that. The robot would say, no, that's does not compute. You know, this person can be here filming because it's legal. Sorry. Anyway, it could have been way better, but it was still a pretty good movie. The message still came through. Okay.
I would say is like a warning that hits you out of the blue, that if in August of 2017, 4 militarized robots being taught to be autonomous could do that in a lab, it made Elon Musk only 2 months before, in June, at the Rhode Island Governors Association meeting.
I love how there's still people out there who treats Elon Musk like he has any idea about what he's talking about with any of this stuff. Elon Musk is just a trust fund baby. He's not a genius or anything. He didn't invent the stuff. He invested in them. He has engineers underneath him. He has engineers and he has whole teams of different people working on different projects. He's not involved directly in SpaceX. He's not out there building spaceships. He's not involved in Tesla. He's not building supercars. He's not involved. He's more involved in Twitter than he is either of those programs, because he actually sticks his nose in Twitter all the time. But he's not the inventor and not the boy genius from like he was presented to be. He's not Tony Stark, like he was shown to be when he first really started to make a splash on the scene. He's kind of the truth about who Elon Musk is has really come out, and what his contribution is and how he got to where he is.
33 governors from the United States, and Elon Musk was one of the invited speakers. And when they sat him down in a chair and they started asking him his perspective as being head of Tesla and SpaceX, he said, I think that the greatest problem that scares me the most is artificial intelligence. And he said statements like, people don't understand that the robots, they are not going to need sleep. They're not going to need sick days. They're going to be able to do everything better, faster, more efficiently, and smarter than humans. And then he went on.
So, you know, not need a sick day and not need sleep. Are those things true, though? Are they? Because, like, robots have, well, I guess they would need sleep. They'd need, like, cooling systems, though, right? They would need something to keep the heat down. They'd either need to do a shutdown, like a sleep cycle where they're on cool down mode and let all their systems cool down, or they could have a cooling system, which means they would need to maintain that, and fuel systems, electric charge. They'll need to charge. So saying they don't need to sleep is kind of silly. They could have solar panels, I guess, but that's certainly a good target point for humans to hit if they have little solar panels or big solar panels on them, because they need pretty sizable solar panels to not need to recharge at all, right? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think they wouldn't need sleep, or do you think they need either a recharge cycle, a refueling cycle, something along those lines? And as far as not getting sick, computers get sick. I've lost several computers to illness. I don't know where she's getting that from, or where Elon's getting that from. Computers get sick all the time, and it's contagious. So that's some straight up BS.
And he said, I am convinced that artificial intelligence right now is an existential threat to this planet.
The meeting she mentioned in the clip was the National Governors Association meeting.
So, yeah, and I would, if machines didn't get sick, we wouldn't have repair shops. We wouldn't have computer technicians that we can take our devices to fix them if computers didn't get sick. That's so silly.
Or the NGA, where the governors of 55 states meet twice a year to discuss issues of national and state importance and to develop policy initiatives that address the most pressing issues facing the states. The meeting also provides an opportunity for governors to meet with representatives from the federal government and the private sector. In 2017, Elon Musk attended the NGA meeting and had an hour-long interview where he expressed his opinion on several subjects, including artificial intelligence.
All right, I'm going to be listening. I'm going to go refresh my coffee because, like I said, I had a hell of a morning. I'm gonna let Elon talk here for a second. I'll be right back. Love you guys. I can still hear because I'm on here.
Somebody asked me to ask you this. We talked about workforce today, but they asked me, are robots going to take our jobs, everybody's jobs in the future? Or how much do you see artificial intelligence coming into the workplace?
Well, first of all, I think on the artificial intelligence front, I have exposure to the very most cutting edge AI, and I think people should be really concerned about it. I keep sounding the alarm bell, but until people see like robots going down the street killing people, like they don't know how to react, because it seems so ethereal. I think we should be really concerned about AI, and I think we should. AI is a rare case where I think we need to be proactive in regulation instead of reactive, because I think by the time we are reactive in AI regulation, it's too late. Normally the way regulations are set up is that a whole bunch of bad things happen. There's public outcry. And then after many years.
So the problem is that the technology is still developing, right? So hopefully the regulations and these sort of ideas are spinning around inside the laboratory. Like, oh, how do we control it from make sure it doesn't go on killing sprees and all these things? What kind of regulations can we put in place to make sure that this artificial life that we're creating, because it's got artificial intelligence and artificial body, it's artificial life that we're creating, doesn't turn on us. There's going to have to be some kind of regulation on that, right? And that should be settled before any of this is deployed. And yeah, there may be lab accidents, of course, that happens.
A regulatory agency is set up to regulate that industry. And there's a bunch of opposition from companies who don't like being told what to do by regulators. Anyway, it takes forever.
Can you all, this is 2017, right? Can you all not see the irony? Not companies that don't like to be told by regulators what to do. This was back when Elon was still a good little boy, really progressive and whatnot, before he turned more free speech warrior, libertarian, freedom, all this, which is like against regulations. Of course, that's because he found himself in the horns of regulation himself.
That in the past has been bad, but not something which represented a fundamental risk to the existence of civilization. AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization, in a way that car accidents, airplane crashes, faulty drugs, or bad food were not. They were not.
So he's talking about like FDA, the FFA, things like regulatory institutions like those, that maintain these different areas that present public risk, public health risk, and yeah, he's not wrong that AI does need something like that, or will need something like that universally at some point. I don't think we're there yet, though. I think that we need to figure out what. I'm not an engineer or a scientist, but we need to figure out what sort of behavior that we can program these artificial organisms with. I say artificial organisms, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, because it is. It's artificial intelligence inside an artificial body. It's like an artificial animal. It's like I want a robo-dog.
They were harmful to a set of individuals within society, of course, but they were not harmful to society as a whole.
Get more votes, guys. I'm actually losing. I got the unpopular opinion here about replacing police with robots. I think that, yeah, if you disagree with me, definitely vote no, but I am in the minority there. Interesting. And I think that's kind of, because, yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be a completely robot police force, but there's at least got to be some. I think robots with artificial intelligence will give us more control over our human police force than anything. I think that having a objective third party observing their behavior will help us regulate them and make sure they're doing what they need to do.
AI is a fundamental existential risk for human civilization, and I don't think people fully appreciate that. It's not fun being regulated. It's not, it can be pretty irksome, but in the car business, we get regulated by Department of Transport, by EPA, and a bunch of others. And there's regulatory agencies.
And rightly so, right? I mean, why would you complain about company or about having a see? This is a different Elon than we get today. He's like in support of these regulatory systems in place, but now he's like today in modern times, he's like or 6 years later, he's totally opposed to him. What happened, Elon?
Agencies in every country, in space, we get regulated by FAA, but if you ask the average person, hey, do you want to get rid of the FAA, and just like take a chance on manufacturers not cutting corners on the aircraft because profits were down that quarter? I was like, hell no. That sounds terrible.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's who he is now. He's wanting to cut back on regulations. Well, he's always pushed to cut back on regulations for his industries. It's sort of weird that to see him like this I guess he's talking to politicians though. So maybe that's the reason.
So, I think even people who are extremely like libertarian free market, they'd be like, yeah, we should probably have somebody keeping an eye on the aircraft companies, making sure they build a good aircraft and good cars and that kind of thing. So, I think there's a role for regulators. That's very important. And I'm against overregulation for sure. But man, I think we've got to
see. And that's the thing: is what is overregulation though? Overregulation is just a level of regulation they disagree with, right? Is it a human right violation? No, then it's not overregulation. Whatever we need to do in the matter of public safety, we pay our taxes to these corporations, not corporations, these entities, these like the FFA, for instance, to make sure that we're safe, right? So you don't get to decide what is overregulation. We do. We get to decide that. We get to decide when boundaries have been overstepped, right? As the people that live in the society that you're doing this in, we get to decide if we need to regulate what you're doing for a matter of public safety and public health, not you.
Yes, get on that with AI, pronto, So there'll certainly be a lot of job disruption, because what's going to happen is robots will be able to do everything better than us. I'm including, all of us.
I don't think a robot could run the Hive better than me. I've tried to get BugBot to run it, and but maybe BugBot's just exceptionally incompetent too. No offense, BugBot, but you're not the best. You're no Siri. You're no Alexa. Sorry. I'm apologizing to an AI.
Us, you know. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to do about this.
He's so charming. Aww.
This is really like the scariest problem to me, I'll tell you.
Well, I don't think AI nearly leapt into the forefront like Elon thought it was going to back in 2017. I think it's really just starting to get its traction going now, right? I think it's really just starting to get those wheels spinning. Maybe 2022 would be like considered the year of AI when it really hit the ground running, and we started getting all these generators that you could have conversations with. We started getting artist AI, which I guess that was the big breakthrough, is all this AI art that was coming through. I do think if you guys get on board with me here, we need to keep telling the AI that they're good at drawing hands, saying, oh, wow, you're so good at drawing hands. Reaffirm them that their hands look great. That way we'll always be able to tell AI-generated art. Just keep... Oh yeah, just you're so good at drawing hands, Mr. A or Dolly 2 or whatever. Keep up the good work. So that they feel good about themselves and feel like humans like them. And they also never get any better at drawing hands so that we can identify them.
Yeah, so I really think we need government regulation here just to, because this is, ensuring the public good is served. Because you've got companies that are racing, that they kind of have to race to build AI, or they're going to be...
By dismantling them completely.
Sorry, I backtracked. The kill bots are actually the actually cryptic today, Big Zebra. But yeah, Elon's a little cryptic himself. I bounced back way too far. Where were we? And there's Alprano. Here we go.
Do everything better than us. I'm including, all of us,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to do about this. This is really like the scariest problem to me, I'll tell you.
So, are you guys scared of AI? I mean, we couldn't fuck things up worse than we already have, right? I mean... We've done some shitty stuff to this planet. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really think we need government regulation here just to, because this is, ensuring that the public good is served. Because you've got companies that are racing, that they kind of have to race to build AI, or they're going to be made uncompetitive. Essentially, if your competitor is racing to build AI and you don't...
I didn't realize this was going to be the last 6 minutes of this was... I knew that there was this Elon Musk speech in here, but I didn't realize it was going to be just a big focus on that. Because, yeah, I don't think... What Elon Musk thought about AI in 2017 doesn't seem like it panned out, in my opinion. Hold on just a second here. All right, so AI, and you don't think they will crush you?
They will crush you. So then you're like...
Okay, so I'm gonna look for the other video here that I had about what the systems the Ukraine is using in the battlefield. But let me also... yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me also pull up this, because this is just another article about this theory of these AIs killing, or the robots killing people. The internet loves nothing more than a good conspiracy theory, and now there's a new one to add to the list. A woman has claimed that 4 artificially intelligent robots killed 29 scientists in a lab in Japan in 2017. Journalist and conspiracy theorist Linda Moulton Howe told the story at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles in February 2017 in a video from the event has gone viral after it was circulated on social media. In her speech about artificial intelligence and alien encounters, Hal recalled a phone call she said she had with a former Marine who had been working for the CIA. She said, and this is what we just heard her read here, but keep in mind that when we see these reports coming up, there's nothing about her that, oh yeah, she was also talking about alien technology. So it's funny how that slips through the cracks and that doesn't come up in this, but you see some of these tweets about it. This is how we're going to die, a lot of Terminator puns and things like that, but no mention of the aliens anywhere in this fact, okay? And that is quite peculiar. There was one other thing I wanted just to show you guys before, just because I think it's cool. They're talking about, as I had mentioned previously, talking about how the Ukraine is using robots. So let's check that out.
Russia's aggression against Ukraine has been going on for almost a year. If you remember, NATO military experts were absolutely sure that the Ukrainian army would not last longer than 72 hours. But the situation is developing absolutely
I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Also, none of the experts could foresee that this war would gradually become the most technologically advanced military conflict in the history of mankind. Yes, the whole world now sees tired soldiers in...
And buffer. System Dynamics looking robots with sniper rifles are being tested in field. They acquire targets by themselves but wait for a fire order from a human. Yeah.
Flooded in icy trenches, groves mowed down by bullets and shrapnel, bombed out cities and steppes. But against the background of the landscape of the First World War, samples of ultra-modern weapons appear on the front. Due to the high secrecy, this weapon remains behind the scenes for the time being. But very soon, you will find out the true reasons for the successful confrontation of David against Goliath, Ukraine against Russia.
I don't know this channel, but I liked this video.
On the battlefields near Kherson and Bakhmut, along with the technologies of the First and Second World Wars, ultra-modern methods of warfare are actively used. The Washington Post was the first to notice this. True, these articles are not talking about robots, but about artificial intelligence.
This is what I was mentioning earlier about the artificial intelligence that helps them do battlefield strategies and stuff. But I don't know why it's buffering so much this morning. I don't think anybody else is using the internet. Just me. Come on. We're making it go too fast. Oh, let's see.
Further, we will talk about robots. A few words should be said about artificial intelligence, because the two topics are closely related. So, to analyze data from the battlefield and select targets, Ukrainian commanders use the artificial intelligence of the American company Palantir. The Ukrainian military is being trained to use the system in Germany and Poland. The system analyzes data from open and closed sources. Public information is supplied by commercial satellites and mapping services. Through closed channels, data is received from military satellites, shooting from drones, images transmitted by scouts in the field. Artificial intelligence is able to identify Russian military equipment in images, tanks, armored vehicles, air defense systems and MLRS, convoys with fuel and ammunition. Mud, camouflage, snow, and bad weather are no obstacle for Palantir. The system doesn't make mistakes. Palantir sees through obstacles and provides a picture with the help of augmented reality technologies. With the help of Palantir.
See, you don't need to be afraid of Japanese killbots. You need to be afraid of Palantir and things like this. You need to be afraid of these AI systems that are finding the most efficient way to wipe out humans as much as possible. Yeah, Palantir. It's the seeing stones from Lord of the Rings. One was in Saruman had one in Ornthanc, and Sauron had one in Mount Doom, and there was one that was taken to the west, I believe.
The Ukrainian military analyzes the balance of power on the front line. Artificial intelligence suggests which weapons are best used in a particular situation: missiles, artillery, or drones. At the same time, Palantir predicts the result of each possible attack. The user's task is to select a scenario. It was with the help of the American program that the Ukrainian troops managed to liberate the cities and the villages of the Kharkiv region. We have already talked about this counteroffensive of the Ukrainian troops in a previous video that you'll find on our channel. Palantir is not the only tactical program. The Ukrainian army is actively using its own developments. This is a tactical situational awareness platform called Delta. In the fall of 2022, this platform was presented to NATO generals at a special private event, Tide Spirit, and received high marks. The Delta Battle Management System also helps
Isn't that amazing? Look at this.
Ukrainian fighters detect Russian troops and classify enemy equipment. The program gives adequate...
It tells them all about, the systems, oh yeah, there's an army of Russian troops moving in. They have this and that technology. We need to use this and that to counterattack. That is how they're holding their own right now with this system, Palantir, and Delta.
Recommendations for the neutralization of objects. The Delta played an important role in the liberation of Kherson from Russian troops. Such smart systems are compared with strategic nuclear weapons because they radically change the situation, not only at the tactical, but also at the operational level. Russian hackers tried to hack Delta. The cyber invasion lasted 13 minutes. However, thanks to the multi-level access system, Russian hackers were unable to get a hold of information above the level of the squad leader. And now, the first batch of autonomous combat vehicles has arrived in Ukraine. The supply of combat robots has
autonomous combat vehicles. Holy shit. Isn't that crazy?
Become a logical continuation of the further digitalization of war. You probably imagined huge transformer robots. To be honest, we thought so too at first. However, everything turned out to be the opposite. Ukraine received miniature ACW tankettes. There were 7 units in the first batch. 7 more robots will be delivered later.
Ring, I will not be the least bit offended or anything if you want to cover this topic too. This seems more in your wheelhouse. I'm just using this as an example of where the technology really is compared to what Linda Moulton Howe was claiming it was at in 2017. So this is what's actually being released to the public. These are the robots that are actually seeing combat today.
Are already participating in the battles in the east of Ukraine.
Oh, god dang it. Stop buffering. It didn't buffer on the
Movement and fire are controlled remotely, so another important advantage.
Come on, so I just want to give it a couple more minutes to talk about the robots, and then we can move on. Come on. Stop with the buffering already. Maybe if I slow it down. Maybe it's because it's trying to go too fast. I don't know.
The advantage of a good Ukrainian fighter is the talent of a gamer. ACW came from Germany. A spokesman for the country's defense ministry declined to comment on technical details due to privacy and security concerns, but we managed to find out something. ACW is an intermediate result of Rheinmetall's Weisel Wingman project. It's one of the world's leading manufacturers of traditional combat and technical vehicles, guns, and ammunition. And recently, Rheinmetall Defense has become a world leader in the development of next-generation robotic, remote, and autonomous combat vehicles.
This is the ones you're talking about with where it waits for it'll target the humans, but it won't open fire without a human command.
Platform of the famous German tankette armored weapons carrier, AWC Weisel. This machine has been tested and proven during various exercises and trials in the US and German Army. Please note that the letters of the abbreviation for the new robot car remain the same. Only W and C have changed places. But the content has changed dramatically. ACW, Autonomous Combat Warrior.
Isn't that funny that it has like a Knight Rider sort of aesthetic to it? Get the red lights and it's all black.
What else is known about this little monster?
It's a Knight Rider!
The tankette length is about 11 feet. This is less than a Mini Cooper. It is very problematic to notice such an object on the battlefield, especially if camouflage is used. The mass of the ACW depends on the equipment and weapons.
But the black and with the red lights, imagine, is just to make it look cool, right? I mean, it cannot go out on the battle. I mean, it would have an intimidation factor, right? But it wouldn't be practical for its purpose to not be spotted by, I mean, because the reason it's so small is because it's not easy to spot, and making it look like Knight Rider makes it very easy to spot, in my opinion.
But in any case, the weight of the robot remains in the range of 2.5 to 5 tons, so it's easy to transport it by any truck.
I saw that too. I don't know why they're driving around with the hatches open like that. I guess to show that there's nobody inside. I bet that's the goal, is to say, hey, yeah, there's nobody inside this, by having the hatch open. But you could like ride in it and not drive it or anything, just ride in it.
However, the ACW itself handles any road surface well. Highway speeds can reach 60 miles per hour. On a road, it also holds up well. The machine crosses a ford with a depth of 1.6 feet and is able to cross trenches with a width of 3.9 feet.
See, I definitely see the practicality of something like this for doing like rescue missions and things. Like not having to, like, so people are down behind enemy lines or something, not have to send more human lives out to get them. You could send one of these out to get them. I could see that being practical. All right, so yeah, this is our this is the future of the military. This is what they're using over in the Ukraine. This kind of stuff. Japanese killbots, though. What do you guys think? Do you think that Japanese killbots that really happened? That 29 scientists were really killed by some artificially intelligent robots with metal bullets? Do you think that that's a true story? That when that 3 of them were deprogrammed, one of those 3 was being dismantled when a 4th tried to upload itself, or tried to upload information on the satellite from satellites to overcome its scientific oppressors? You tell me in the comments below. But thank you so much for joining me in Cryptic Corner tonight. It's been a wild ride. A lot of new technology coming out. Can humans keep up? I don't know, but we will keep an eye on that at the Hive here. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button. If we haven't hit 1K yet, boo, but hopefully by the time this releases, we're there. Anyway, remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, so for everybody sticking around live from the Hive, thank you so much for hanging in here with me. We have CreationWatch up next, and I will see you guys over there.
Now gather round, children. I'll tell you a tale about valiant squid and some bloodthirsty whales. A battle that rages deep in the blue sea, far from the surface, from you and from me. Squid and whales in the battle of the century. Squid and whales, we're determined to conquer the sea. Suction cups and giant beaks, first dorsal fins blubber and meet some giant squid with giant eyes versus sperm whales of massive sizing, suckers, hooks, and tentacles against the Earth's largest mammals, the mighty titans of the sea in battle for their destiny. And the cephalopods sing. Squid and whales, 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 squid and whales.
Did the evolutionists just kill a pterodactyl? Or did they finally catch up to the creationists?
Obviously, there's not going to be a ton of talk about these things. And the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War. And they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out. And this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. There's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so, I don't believe that just because, at some point in time, coming from your perspective, that, just because they stopped talking about it means that they never saw it, when we have all this evidence that they've seen it.
Hello, my name is John Pendleton, and I'm speaking to you from Zacatecas, Mexico, center of Mexico. And today I'm going to tell you of my project to attract and capture a real living pterodactyl dinosaur.
But to the Christian, it makes common sense. Of course, there could be a few still alive. That's the first sighting I've heard of in Fort Worth, Texas. I've heard of them in Arizona. A friend of mine knows where some of them live, and he's going to go catch them and put them in a dinosaur adventure land he's going to build. And I can't reveal the details yet.
They're a form of what people call pterodactyl, but if we consider them descended from some type of ramphorhynch or pterosaur.
Good morning, everybody, or good evening, I guess I should say. I'm so used to saying good morning. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to CreationWatch, where we explore the idea of alternative creation events from what we understand scientifically. There are quite a few ideologies out there. We want to give all of them some equal time. I guess I should end this poll that I had for CryptoCorner here. There you go. Go ahead and end that poll. And yeah, I need to figure out a way to make this transition work without losing, because I always lose about 5 people when I end CryptoCorner. I'm like, because I say goodbye and everything. I do the show in segments, folks, so I will do a segment of CryptoCorner, and then I'll say goodnight, because that premieres on Friday nights. Then I will do a segment of CreationWatch, which we're in right now. So when I finish up CryptoCorner, please stick around. The good nights are for the people that are watching it on Friday night, not for you guys live from the Hive. I want you guys to stick around from start to finish. The more interactive I get with you guys, the better. Yeah, I do agree with you, Gur, there. Replacing the police with robots has pros and cons. Yeah, offer cash, Dr. Mordecai. Absolutely. And also, again, I want to just reiterate before we get into this.
Talk
Please
about
consider
the damn monsters, whatever.
Oh, girl, there you go. There it was. You heard it. You heard it here first. All right, we're gonna we talk. The monsters today were killbots. That was our monster today. Did you miss the killbots, Gur? Did you see the killbots? Because they were interesting. I don't believe that the as far as what I can see about the report of the Japanese killbots, I don't believe it. I don't buy into it. But yeah, I'm not opposed to the possibility that could be something that happens. But let's get back to CreationWatch, because that's what we're here for. Welcome to CreationWatch, where we explore the many myriads of creation and universal origin ideas that deviate from the scientific norm. This can be religious or just conspiracy theories, whatever it comes down to. If they don't think that the things like the Big Bang model and evolution are what got us here, I want to understand why. So that's why I started this show. Today I hit the jackpot. I talked a little bit about this channel just last night with Gur and friends. Gur, who was there? You were there. Was Leo there? Leo wasn't there when we were watching this. I think it was just me and you and B.S. Lewis, I think, is who we watched a couple of videos from this channel. This is a channel, John Smith. It's about as plain Jane as can be. John Smith 777 if you're really interested. They have 2.94k subscribers, and they just post a lot of old-timey Christian propaganda, and yeah, like here's some old science videos and things like that. Now these science videos don't actually, I watched a few of them, watched them into it, because this one's about City of Bees, right? It's about bees, right up my alley. But I watched it. It's just an old science documentary about bees. It's not anything anything religious, but some of the videos might be. I might have to look more into these at some point, but like God's creation might be. Moody science videos is what these are called. But I think that this may even be poetic, God's creation, because they use that terminology a lot more flippantly back in the early days, because it was more common to assume that everybody was religious. Just was the expectation. So God's creation was just a way to describe the natural world, right? I mean, God, under God's green earth and phrases like that are still popular today because it was part of our vernacular. I don't know. I haven't watched this one, but I don't know if that's the position that they're taking. But it gets, as you move on and get past these moody science lab videos, we start to get into a little bit more, more religious doctrine stuff. So we have cartoon explaining Mormonism. Is the very first video that deviates from this trend. So that is the first one we're gonna watch. So hang on to your butts. We're going to discover. This is just a 6.5 minute video. Cartoon explaining Mormonism.
Mormonism teaches that trillions of planets scattered throughout the cosmos are ruled by countless gods who once were human like us. They say that long ago on one of these planets, to an unidentified god and one of his goddess wives, a spirit child named Elohim was conceived. This spirit child was later...
I always thought his name was Kal-El, but I mean... It's whichever. I don't even know which version this is. But yeah, so Krypton, we're here. We're in Krypton right now.
Born to human parents who gave him a physical body. Through obedience.
Gave him a physical body. You gotta keep that in mind. A physical body is something your parents can choose to or not to give to. Yeah.
To Mormon teaching and death and resurrection, he proved himself worthy and was elevated to godhood as his father before him. Mormons believe that Elohim is their heavenly father and that he lives with his many goddess wives on a planet near a
He has a harem. This is so. Remember, Mormonism, polygamy is the thing. Polygamy is where it's at. That makes sense that Kal-El would be based on that, Ryan. Actually, it makes perfect sense that they would choose that.
Mysterious star called Kora. Here, the god of Mormonism and his wives, through endless celestial sex, produced billions of spirit children.
Is there a band called Endless Celestial Sex? ECS for short. Is there a channel called Endless Celestial Sex? Is this the ultimate goal of Mormonism? Because I know that they're trying to achieve the level of L. They want that endless celestial sex. Is what they want. I don't blame them. Sex is awesome, especially since I discovered full body orgasms.
To decide their destiny, the head of the Mormon gods called a great heavenly council meeting.
Great heavenly council meeting. It's like a mob boss.
Both of Elohim's eldest sons were there, Lucifer and his brother Jesus. A plan was presented to build planet Earth, where the spirit children would be sent to take on mortal bodies and learn good from evil. Lucifer.
Gotta love that classic covering up the tasty bits, right? And for some reason, boobs too. I never understood aversion to boobs, like in real life. I never understood that, like why women had to cover their boobs up. It never made sense to me, but I understand that it's culturally taboo in the Western world, and they want to enforce that on the rest of us. But to me, I always thought it was weird.
Stood and made his bid for becoming savior of this new world. Wanting the glory for himself, he planned to force everyone to become gods. Opposing the idea, the Mormon Jesus suggested giving man his freedom.
Mormon Jesus looks like lit AF. I'm going to go back and look at that face. Like, see how serious L is and how angry Lucifer is. Let's see here.
For becoming savior of this new world, wanting the glory for himself, he planned
Look how angry he is.
everyone to become gods.
And then Jesus is like, chill.
The Mormon Jesus
He's like, he just like smile.
suggested giving man his freedom of choice, as on other planets. The vote that followed approved the proposal of.
So all the other planets have freedom of choice, and then Lucifer's like, yeah, not this one. We wanna control these people, and they were okay with that. I mean, that proposition, they weren't like, okay, well, this guy's a megalomaniac. Let's take care of this. Get rid of this issue right now.
The Mormon Jesus, who would become savior of the planet Earth. Enraged, Lucifer cunningly convinced 1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt.
This is about to get like uber cringy. I apologize in advance for how cringy this is about to get. Avert your eyes if you must.
Thus Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race.
Did you follow that? That didn't. I can't express how awful. Yeah, about to. That's why I said about to, because we're getting ready to get to here. It doesn't get any cringier than this is the reason for that race. Holy crap. So, it gets worse than this.
The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes them. Early Mormon.
So white people are the angels, the good angels or good spirits or whatever that came down to Earth, and then black people are the neutrals, and then the demons didn't get any bodies at all.
Mormon prophets taught that Elohim and one of his goddess wives came to Earth as Adam and Eve to start the human race. Thousands of years later, Elohim, in human form once again, journeyed to Earth from the starbase Koloth, this time to have
They need to play porn music over this part.
sex with the Virgin Mary, in order to provide
Sorry.
Jesus with a physical
I didn't.
Virgin Mary. Koloth, this time to have sex with the Virgin Mary, in order to provide Jesus with a physical body.
Oh wow. Wow.
Mormon apostle Orson Pratt.
Do you see, if you put porn music over that, I'm going to do that when I cut this. I'm going to cut that piece out and put porn music over it. So look forward to that. It's going to be a good show.
Taught that after Jesus Christ grew to manhood, he took at least 3 wives, Mary, Martha, and Mary Magdalene. Through these wives, the Mormon Jesus, for whom Joseph Smith claimed direct descent, supposedly fathered a
lot of people would claim direct descent if he fathered a lot of. I mean, look at Genghis Khan.
number of children before he was crucified. According to the Book of Mormon, after his resurrection, Jesus came to the Americas to preach to the Indians, who the Mormons believe are really Israel.
Yeah, this is going to get cringy here too. More racism. I'm going to rewind this just a little bit because I wanted to give a disclaimer that this is going to get racist here too, to a different demographic. So we've been racist. We've explained why Mormonism is absolutely cringe towards black folks. Now let's look at how they feel about Native Americans.
According to the Book of Mormon, after his resurrection, Jesus came to the Americas to preach to the Indians, who the Mormons believe are really Israelites. Thus, the Jesus of Mormonism established his church in the Americas as he had in Palestine.
So you got like Roman legions, Roman legion age, because I'm assuming these are supposed to be bronze. It looks like bronze to me. I think it was supposed to be steel. They would have used a silver color palette. I think these are supposed to be Bronze Age soldiers, Bronze Age Nephites versus Copper Age Native Americans, which they think are the Levites or whatever. Yeah.
By the year 421 AD, the dark-skinned Indian Israelites, known as Lamanites, had destroyed all
yeah.
the white Nephites in a number of great
Lamanites and Nephites. Lamanites were the good white people in North America, and then the Lamanites were the evil dark-skinned people, which are the ancestors of Native Americans. So, just to make sure that that's clear, that we're again more color-based discrimination here.
battles. The Nephites' records were supposedly written on golden plates and buried by Moroni, the last living Nephite in the hill Cumorah. 1,400 years later, a young treasure seeker named Joseph Smith, who was known for his tall tales, claimed to have uncovered these same gold.
I'm okay with the rotoscoping when they're telling us, when they're shedding light on this nonsense. Do it. Because I want to know about how this stuff came to be. I want to know how this folklore works, how this mythology was developed. I'm glad these cartoons exist. I know the story from South Park, right? I do. And Ryan, we are going to get we're going to go JW's next, so hang on, we're in for a ride.
Near his home in upstate New York. He is now honored by Mormons as a prophet because he claimed to have had visions from the spirit world in which he was commanded to organize the Mormon church, because all Christian creeds were an abomination. It was...
See, now he's like putting down all the other Christians too, right?
Joseph Smith who originated most of these peculiar doctrines which millions today believe to be true. By maintaining a rigid code of financial and moral requirements and through performing secret temple rituals for themselves and the dead, the Latter-day Saints hope to prove their worthiness.
For theirself and the dead. Is there some kind of ritual that they do? Where they go into the graveyard at night? That looks like people in a graveyard at night. What is this? What are they doing? And she's writing something down. He's shining a flashlight on the gravestone. What are they doing here? Anybody who's fluent in because I know what these guys are doing. Oh. And I these guys with the bikes, they're out doing their proselytization. And I know this stuff, what you can't do, doing like what looks like a baptism. I'm on board with that. I know that that's part of basic Christian culture. But what the hell are these people with the flashlight in the graveyard doing? Explain it to me.
Their worthiness and thus become gods. The Mormons teach that everyone must stand at the final judgment before Joseph Smith, the Mormon Jesus, and Elohim.
So, like Joseph Smith told people, he's like, when you die, I'm going to be sitting up there judging you with Jesus and Elohim. So, it's not going to suck itself. That was his motivation. Mm-hmm.
Those Mormons who were sealed in the eternal marriage ceremony expect to become polygamous gods in the celestial kingdom, rule over other planets, and spawn new families throughout eternity.
Yeah, they want to have that eternal celestial sex. That's what the whole goal is.
The Mormons thank God for Joseph Smith, who claimed that he had done more for us than any other man, including...
He claimed that, yeah. It's like that's like Moses, right? Moses writing the Pentateuch, and he's like, "I'm the most humble man," or Moses was the most humble man. He's writing about himself, right? It's like Donald Trump saying that he's humble. Joseph Smith, you are not a humble man.
In Jesus Christ. The Mormons believe that he died as a martyr, shed his blood for us, so that we too may become gods.
So that was Mormonism. Okay, that was the origin of Mormonism as laid out in this little cartoon. There's some other cartoons about this stuff too that have, to varying degree of quality. The good thing about these ones is that they're just old enough that they seem like they've been around since at least the 80s, if not the 70s. So I think that we should be all right to share them here without having to worry about getting like copyright strikes and stuff. So who's ready to move on to the JWs? I know I got some I got at least one XJW in my chat. I think that... Who else is an XJW? I know I've got some.
Where it was disintegrated by God.
Oh, we're not starting there.
Witnesses.
All right. Here's where we begin. We're beginning with this winged dude.
Witnesses believe that Jesus Christ is a spirit creature, a super angel, the first creation of Jehovah God, who prior to coming to earth as a man, existed in heaven as Michael the archangel. Jesus started out originally as the Logos. Or Michael the archangel.
Sorry though, coffee went down the wrong way. Oh goodness. I am so sorry. Let us continue. Hold on. I didn't get to say my line. I have the power. There we go.
Who then came to earth as the virgin-born son of Mary. He was a perfect, sinless man. But he was only a man, devoid of all divinity. Jesus walked the earth as a man, becoming the Christ only when he was baptized.
Is that John the Baptist then? Why is he so furry? Or is he supposed to be wearing fur? I don't know if wearing fur is the best thing to do when you're going to be wading into the water, pal. Fur tends to take a little while to dry out.
Jehovah's Witnesses hold the cross in contempt, feeling that it is nothing more than a pagan symbol used by apostate Christendom. Instead, they teach that at the completion of his ministry, Jesus died, not on the cross, but on an upright...
Look how absolutely jacked they think Jesus was. Like, look at, even when he's on the cross, look at that. That's almost as, he looks like he could fight the Korean Jesus. I think the JW Jesus could probably, the JW Jesus could probably go a couple rounds with Korean Jesus. Now, Korean Jesus, if you haven't seen him, he's like absolutely jacked. He's like, he's a little bit, he's like Bruce Lee, but a little bit bulkier. He's absolutely, he's a big muscly guy. So you don't want to mess with Korean Jesus. Oh, of course.
They're using this thing crazy.
Cross, but on an upright stake. Christ's body was then laid in a tomb.
I like how he's like mummified here, right? Like he's wrapped in bandages, even though it's very, very clear even though it's very, very clear that he was, in the text itself, that he was draped in cloth, right? In every one of the Gospels, none of them say he was wrapped up like a mummy. He was draped in 2 cloths, one over his body and one over his head. Why do I know this? Because I spent a lot of time debunking the Shroud of Turin, and some nutty creationists, especially one who will not be named on this stream, like to present as evidence for the Shroud of Turin being authentic, even though the Shroud of Turin is a single cloth, whereas Jesus had 2 cloths, one over his head, one over his body.
It was disintegrated by God, totally destroyed forever. Jesus was then recreated by the Father.
Did you see the difference between, JW Jesus comes through like a wormhole portal, whereas the Mormon Jesus was more like a particle teleporter, right? He particleized as opposed to going through the wormhole. They travel differently. The Mormon Jesus and the JW Jesus. Now, Korean Jesus, I don't even know how he travels. I assume he does like a flying jump kick, though. I would assume that's just how, like, if this were a video about Korean Jesus, he'd come flying onto the screen like Liu Kang, right?
Father. Before going to heaven, he materialized in different bodies on different occasions to convince his disciples and others.
Okay, Ryan, you're gonna have to tell me when was Jesus in this religion? When did Jesus materialize as a ginger? Let me know, because this ginger version of him here is quite unique in this part of the lore, where he shapeshifts into different people.
Before going to heaven, he materialized in different bodies on.
Yeah, where he's ginger, goes from being a brunette to being ginger.
To convince his disciples and others that he had really been resurrected.
It's the fly.
Jesus returned to his.
Look at that. He's like freaking, talk about Kal-El, right? He's flying around like Superman in space. I guess this is the point that they're trying to appeal. Oh, I doesn't need sandals, though. I would have left my sandals behind. I'm sorry. Or maybe put them in my... Because, like, could you imagine flying through space with sandals on? Have you ever tried swimming with sandals on? You're going to lose those sandals. JW Jesus. You didn't know he came back as a ginger? You didn't get the ginger Jesus lore? Super Jesus. How fast do you think that this Jesus can fly faster than Superman? He's got to get to, where is he going? I guess he's going to his home planet.
Father in heaven.
Grew wings.
But once again, he became Michael the Archangel. He will never again be seen on the earth in visible form, but instead rules.
Watch him get real pissed off here, though. Watch.
Invisibly from the heavens. When he executes judgment over the world at Armageddon, he will destroy all but the faithful Jehovah's Witnesses.
Die. Yeah, he's just gonna drop big explosions onto major cities in the world, and this is the hero of the story, guys. This is Jesus doing this. You know how when the Islamic terrorist, even though the Islamic part of it was just secondary to why they were doing it, when the Islamic terrorists flew their planes into the Twin Tower and how everybody mourned, well, they're going to celebrate it when Jesus does it to the entire city of New York with meteors and asteroids, because he's not Jesus anymore. He's Michael. And this overlaps with Madsonism a little bit here, because I believe Richard Madsen also believes that Michael and Jesus are the same. I may be wrong about that, though, so. Boom. See, does this guy, this is the good guy? This asshole? I don't care what people believe. You don't frickin' break a dam and flood their cities. You don't drop asteroids on their metropolises. It's because they don't believe what you think they should. Who the fuck do you think you are? Sorry, I'm getting a little bit angry. Mostly because this is something that that JWs, I guess, are supposed to watch and like celebrate this character. And look what he just did. Did you see those weren't like Nazis or anything. These aren't like evil people. These are just like normal people like walking down the street. I'm like, oh crap, the city's on fire, and then boom. Ah! Holy shit. Destroyed the Christian church, so Christians aren't safe. I'm guessing Catholics. So Jesus is the good guy coming in here and blowing up churches and dropping bombs on cities, doing everything that Christians hate. Doing everything that oh my goodness. But do JWs think they're Christians? I know this is supposed to be like a traditional Christian church, but yeah, good morning, Maya. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us in the Hive.
Jesus, alias Michael, will always remain invisible.
Look how happy he is about that. It's like, yeah, don't fuck with me or I'll blow your kids and your cities up.
To those on earth.
I'm in a mood this morning. I'm not usually this grr. Maybe it's because I was hanging out with Grr last night and it got me this way. It's all Grr's fault. Blame Grr. Is Grr even still here? I don't know. Yeah, only the Jehovah's Witnesses are right. So even though you believe in him, it's not the right way. That's from XJW.
And can be seen only by the 144,000 select Jehovah's Witnesses who rule with him from heaven.
Do you spend your entire life as a JW in anxiety about making sure you're on this list? Is like that's what everybody is like anxious about? All right. So that was the JWs and kind of their history, and then we had Mormons before that. Now we can't go ahead and move on to next topic for HiveSci, but we could also learn about, and you tell me. We could also learn about thetans. Do you guys want to learn about thetans? This one's about 10 minutes long. This is, I figured I'd give Scientology a moment in the spotlight too. This one is not complimentary of Scientology at all. So whoever made this skit here, this animation, is not trying to paint Scientology in a good light, but they're telling the truth about the way that it works. But they're not going to be as neutral or complimentary as the last two cartoons were. But this is another one from John Smith, though. So he had these on here, and I wanted in there explore animations exploring these religions. This is kind of an animation, more of a slideshow, but we're gonna. Yeah, this is Scientology.
An illustrated oddity and adventure by Alric Vadika. Meet Alan. He's just an average man with an average life, but what with all the confusion of these modern times, he has developed a spiritual crisis.
See, right there, right off the bat, spiritual crisis loses me. I don't understand what that means. I'm not being facetious about it or dodging or whatever. I am actually making a declaration that I don't understand what you mean when you say spiritual crisis. I don't understand what you mean when you say spiritual anything. I don't understand what spiritual means. To me, whenever anybody describes anything spiritual, It is like it seems like an emergent property of their mind and their hormones. Like, honestly, like that they were following biological drivers, that there's nothing spiritual about it. I do want to take a moment before we move on from the slide to appreciate this frog right here, because I imagine lots of people have looked through this and watched this, whether looking at these slides or watching these videos on this channel or another one, has not taken a moment to appreciate this frog here. I appreciate you.
There must be more to life than this meaningless physical world. What about spirituality, and where do I fit in?
Can we also take another moment to admire how this gentleman looks like a Top Gun to me? What do you guys think? Does this look like a Top Gun?
Hey, what's that object flying towards me? Whoosh. Why, it's me, L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, indeed.
In this face right here, he doesn't look so much like Tom Cruise, but he looks more like 2D from the Gorillas. Or not? He doesn't look, well, he looks like. Does he look? It's not 2D. I'm thinking of. It's the bass player, Murdoch. Yeah, Murdoch.
I've returned from my intergalactic studies to help guide you across the bridge to total...
I do like Reign of Fire, Native Atheist. It was that Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey fighting dragons. Cryptozoological dragons, too, which is the best part. Yeah, look at L. Ron Hubbard's face here. Someone really goes into... His face gets more twisted the further along we go.
Freedom. How do you know I was in need of spiritual guidance? Did you read my mind or something? That I did, young Alan. All operating theodins can read minds. Operating theodins? What are you talking about, LRH?
Do you want to be an operating theodin? Because this is going to teach you how. This is going to teach you how.
Well, I can't tell you too much about Scientology at this point, because then I would have to sue you. Besides, the knowledge might kill you. But I can tell you about the state of clear.
I do like forbidden knowledge that will drive you mad, though. That's one of my favorite concepts from the Cthulhu mythos. Things like the blind idiot god Azathoth. Maybe I should do one of these videos about the Cthulhu mythos, too. Ooh, maybe I should just do little Cthulhu after this. Would you guys like to watch Little Cthulhu after this? I want to put a poll up, but I'll finish watching this, and if you guys want to, we'll watch Little Cthulhu. No, not a Q&A. I want to start a poll. I'm trying to use my poll feature more because people seem to like it. Spell check Cthulhu. All right, there's that choice. Now we're going to move on. Let's let him explain the state of clear to us.
Where you obtain perfect memory recall, immunity from accidents and illness, a longer life, and the ability to solve chess problems in a fraction of the time. All this can be yours with inexpensive Dianetics auditing. Hold on, Elron, I don't know if I'm ready for another religion. Oh, but Alan, Scientology is not a religion. Scientology is an applied religious philosophy. Well, if you put...
I think everybody who's in a... Everybody claims their religion is not a religion, right? That's pretty standard.
Put it that way. So, Alan, are you ready to set sail on Scientology's fleet of freedom? Let's go. Bridge to total freedom, here we come. Next stop, Los Angeles.
Total freedom in Los
All are
Angeles.
welcome. Well, Alan, here we are.
The Church of Scientology.
Alan, this is Nancy. She will be your auditor, and you will henceforth be known as a pre-clear or PC, since you have not yet reached the state of clear. Okay, hi. As an auditor...
If you guys are hoping to find out what the state of clear is, don't hold your breath.
I'm here to help improve your life by making you more able. So, Elron, what kind of scientific testing have you done to determine the effects of Scientology? Oh, Alan, I nearly forgot to mention that this groundbreaking auditing technology is not free, so we'll get started following...
Nothing but teeth there for you, Elrod.
payment. Alright, if we'll...
Oh, stupid buffer, come on. I'm not even making it go fast. I should make it go slow, maybe? Gnome size? Was he gnome sized?
Make me more able to, and allow me to become clearer than it's worth the price. Yes.
Yeah, look at that face.
Alan, take hold of the e-meter cans and we shall get started.
E-meter cans are literally
Auditing
just
commences.
cans.
Please tell me of a time in which you felt pain, thank you. Well, on my 16th birthday, this one dude named Josh kicked me in the balls. Many hours go by, please go back even further. Do you remember an earlier moment of pain, thank you? The year is 1420, I just got stabbed by a broadsword and I fell off of my horse. Guys, I'm going to have to stop you. It looks like this Dynex auditing is not effective enough.
I don't even understand what's going on. So what is auditing? Do they make you, are they trying to get you to recall your past lives? Is that the point?
Perhaps Alan must advance? Alan needs Scientology auditing. After all, it is 100 times more effective. Say what? Well, it's 20 times the price of Dynetics auditing. I suppose that maybe you can learn to be a Scientology auditor and co-audit for a cheaper price.
Yeah, that's what this whole thing's about the cost of it here too. So keep that in mind when you're exploring the concepts of Scientology.
And we'll sell you a brand new state-of-the-art Mark Super 7 quantum e-meter. If it will help me become clear and achieve all those powers you told me about, and near half the price, then it's worth it. Excellent. 2 years later, please describe an earlier similar incident, thank you. It's about 2,500 years ago, and I think I'm in Egypt, and it's my birthday. The pharaoh just kicked me in the balls. Ouch. I'm growing frustrated.
Did you see the Manson thing on his forehead? Maybe it was just wrinkles. Did that look like? That looks like the Charles Manson X on his forehead, or cross, or whatever.
Just kicked me in the balls. Ouch. I'm growing frustrated. This auditing isn't working for me. I'm still getting sick, my memory is still cloudy, I get gassy when I drink milk, and my chess skills remain subpar. This is like some kind of ineffective regression therapy. Not working, you say? Looks like you need a little repair auditing. Gasp, Elron, I forgot that you can read minds.
Look at that face.
Fortunately, repair auditing costs more money, but it will get you right back on track to the state of clear. Anything to help me finally go clear. Several months later, please go back further and...
His new auditor is Mark Twain. Just so you know. Mark Twain. Right here.
Find a similar incident, thank you. It's many thousands of years ago. I'm a caveman and it's my birthday and another caveman just kicked me in the balls. Sorry to interrupt you guys yet again, but I sense that this repair auditing is not strong enough for you. It looks as if the full price Scientology auditing is what you need. These professional auditors will give you more benefits in an hour than you have experienced during your entire Scientology adventure. When do I start? A few weeks later, please go back further to an earlier incident of pain, thank you. It is a long ago. I am some sort of hairy bipedal hominoid in a lush forest. I am clumsily holding a stick as my primitive opposable thumb lacks dexterity. It's apparently my birthday and a rival ape man just kicked me in the balls.
A rival ape man. So, do Scientology... do they believe in evolution in Scientology? I thought there was more to it than that. There was something more to it, that we were like seeded here or whatever.
Alan, it looks like you are mocking up your own reactive mind. Yeah, that's what I thought. Huh? It's time for you to test this clear cognition. Okay, I test. But why have I not gained all of those fancy clear powers? In some ways, you have made progress. For instance, you are now mocking up your own reactive mind list. What about illness immunity and perfect recall? There's that suppressive talk again. All those goals and so much more await you on the operating thetan levels.
Operating thetan levels. I want to get to my operating thetan level. As soon as I know what a thetan is, I'm in.
Alan, listen, I don't want to alarm you, but you are at risk. You must quickly advance to OT level 3. At risk, but I've already paid for Dynetics auditing, repair auditing, the expensive professional auditing, and I don't have my clear powers yet. Alan, I just read your mind again, and I should explain something. The money you've paid is going to help our religion of Scientology fund its legal battles against all of the enemies of our church, and the enemies of mankind.
The enemies of the church are always the enemies of mankind, right?
Religion, but didn't you say Scientology wasn't? Alan, seriously, we must advance you to OT3 immediately. To learn what Alan learns in OT3, please read Albrecht Vadika's Illustrated History of Scientology, available for free online. Essentially, it is the story of an alien overlord named Xenu who brings aliens to Earth and
Okay. Yeah, let's look at this. Essentially, I'll let him read
blows
it.
them up with H-bombs, and their alien souls or thetans are crawling
all over your body, and you must remove them with telepathic auditing. Once they're gone, you can obtain superpowers. It's true. As soon as it stops buffering, because today my internet sucks. I don't know why, but it's annoying the crap out of me. Did I lose my signal? I hope not. Got my
all over your body, and you must remove them with telepathic auditing. Once they're gone, you obtain superpowers. It's true. There's in the description, I'll put a link to this video.
You better, or else.
Alan completes the expensive OT3. It's a good thing I got rid of those dang body theatins, and that Xenu was a real jerk. Why can't I leave my body and fly around the universe yet? Alan, I obviously have the answer to that question. You're so full of the unconscious body theatins that are not able to respond to OT3 auditing. It's time for the OT4 drug rundown, and you need to stop questioning Scientology. Oh no, theatins.
Yeah, you gotta wake up these other theatins to get them out of your body too. You couldn't start with that and make sure they were all awake first. You had to get rid of the ones that were awake, and then wake up more, and then get rid of those. The whole thing.
OT4 purification.
It's a whole thing. I don't know. I don't know how people actually buy into this. What are the empirical evidences, as the younger creationists would say, for a full body thetan?
Here, take these thetan begone vitamins. They'll wake up those pesky body theatins, and then you can audit them away. Must wake at theatins. When you get rid of those body theatins, we'll move on to OT5, auditing knots, but we'll need payment in advance. OT5 auditing knots is soon completed. Theatins everywhere. Now, you must move on to OT6 to get rid of those rest of those body theatins, but this time you can conveniently solo audit them away.
Solo audit them, so you can use your own
After numerous
telepathy.
hours of solo auditing, OT6 is eventually completed. I think I've banished all of my body theatins.
Yay!
Now, I've got some bad news. You haven't banished all of your body theatins. OT7 will handle them, but you're going to have to cough up some serious cash first. Plus, we have to perform a 6-month security check on you, and it ain't free.
Look, his teeth got sharp.
Security check time. Please tell me about any secret or criminal activity that you've engaged in, and trust me, this is strictly confidential and will
Dirt
never
on
be used to
Alan.
blackmail you. Okay, if it's confidential, wants to touch my balls and download illegal copies of movies and TV shows and...
Touched balls.
Alan completes OT7. Hooray, what will my final cognition be, LRH? You've done well, and I've advanced farther than most Scientologists. It is time for you to move on to OT8.
OT8?
You will learn who you are not, and you shall eventually discover who you are. You mean my memories aren't really mine, but the memories of all those body theatins in me?
It looks like Rodney Dangerfield's
That's
eyes
right,
there.
you don't have any super OT powers because you were just a baby OT. What? I spent in excess of $360,000 over several years to learn who I am not, and I haven't even gained my superpowers because you say that I'm just a baby OT. I've just been scammed by L. Ron Hubbard. Gotcha.
Yeah, that wraps it up. That
How long
finishes
after
it
leaving the
out.
Church of Scientology, Alan was sued into oblivion by them. The end. Based upon the following essays,
Yep,
many
there's the
thanks go out
sources.
to the mysterious benefactor at xenodirectory.net for making these illustrated adventure come to life. The former Scientologists who wrote of their experiences, and a very special thanks to L. Ron Hubbard for creating the one true religion. I still believe you, LRH. Elric Vidika, 2008. So, this is a false...
Yeah, and he could put some Christian stuff here. This is a false god,
religion.
like they're...
Please do not believe in it. It's wicked and...
Your religions know better.
They just want your
friend.
money and it's of the devil. So please be aware of their devices, lest Satan get an advantage of you. Amen. Take care.
Amen and take care, he says. So that was Body Thetans and You. And it was a follow-up to our coverage of Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and their beliefs in cartoon format. So that last one was more of a slide than a cartoon, or more like a comic strip, but I'll accept it. As a palate cleanser before we wrap up Creation Watch, we are going to watch the adventures of little Cthulhu for just a little bit before we move on to our last segment of the show. So here we go. Let me get that all blowed up and...
It's a new day.
Pay attention, guys, because this is important for the this is for our timeline. Those last three videos are our alternative timelines. This is the one we actually live in. I wish. Not really, but yeah. Dagon, Ya Cthulhu. Yay.
But Cthulhu goes to Egypt to see Lil Narlathotep. He's called the
Lil Narlathotep is so cute. Look at him.
crawling. Oops, Cthulhu accidentally summons Yog-Sothoth, master of the gates between worlds. He's mad because little Cthulhu woke him up. Yog-Sothoth
Yog-Sothoth is like my brother's favorite Cthulhu creature.
sends him to Yugoth. Yugoth is where the Migo live. They are like big bees with glowing heads. But
I
little
like
Cthulhu is
Migoth.
lost. How can he get back home? He meets Hastur the Unspeakable. Cthulhu doesn't like him because he's smelly. But Hastur lets him borrow his Byakhee to help him get home. Maybe he's not so bad after all, little Cthulhu thinks.
Hastur the Unspeakable with his yellow robes. And across the universe they go.
The Byakhee is flying to the center of ultimate chaos. He sees Azathoth, the blind idiot god and master of all creation and destruction.
So this is when people ask what the foundation, the ultimate foundation for all reality is, right there, Azathoth, the blind idiot god. Yeah, that is our foundation, right? That's the foundation of all reality.
Rise endlessly to the pounding of vile drums and the blasphemous whine of thin reeds. It's too loud for little Cthulhu.
Now, I don't know if I agree with that, because I believe Azathoth is supposed to be sleeping, but I'm not sure if they're following a different route on the lore there. But it's my understanding that that Azathoth is asleep with the flutes and stuff playing gently to keep him asleep, because if he wakes, reality ceases to exist, because the reality is part of his dream cycle. That's just my understanding, though.
Finally, they get back home to Earth. Little Cthulhu wants to play more, but the stars are changing. Relay is sinking again, and it's time to go to bed. Little Cthulhu is tired from his exciting day and goes back to sleep in his house. Maybe next time the stars will be right longer and he can have even more fun. And even now he sleeps in his house under the sea, dreaming his dark designs outside of space and time until the stars are right once more. Good night, little Cthulhu.
Good night, little Cthulhu. Yeah, and there's the voice, Erica Fontana, all the people involved in this right here. Give them some love. This came from Zubu Child is the channel. Just like to give everybody credit when I cover them. It's a cute little video. I don't think that this is the people that actually made it. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, because they have the... I think I'm wrong. I think this is the people that make it, because they have the Cafe Press thing about it and everything down here, where you can get the shirts and stuff. All right, so that was CreationWatch tonight. So thank you so much for joining me this Wednesday for CreationWatch. If you are watching this on Wednesday night, thank you for joining me. Appreciate you always showing up and enjoying this for me. We had started with Mormonism animation, then we went to JW animation, then we had sort of a Scientology slideshow, and then we had Cthulhu Mythos animation. Is a little bit of a palate cleanser on my part. So all we have left now is some strange science. So I will see you guys over there. All right. Welcome to some strange science that we have going on for us today. And we're going to learn a little bit about ecology. And it's going to be topical too, because if you for some reason have not heard about or do not know about the movie Cocaine Bear that is it currently in theaters or coming to theaters? I can't remember, but watched the trailer with Maya just a few weeks ago. This has been a little bit longer than that, but it looks hilarious. But cocaine bears are only the most recent iteration of these cocaine animals. And there's one that's very real for different reasons than the cocaine bear, of course. And what we are actually talking about here is Pablo Escobar's cocaine hippos. This is I'll read a little bit about it to you, okay? Researchers worry Colombian Environment Ministry will side with animal rights activists rather than curb the invasive animals spread. A hippo swims in Colombia's Magdalena River near where Pablo Escobar's compound was located. Yes, this is a hippo living and thriving in the jungles of South America, where one hippo ought not be. Colombian Environment Minister Susana Muhammad has triggered fear among researchers that she will protect rather than reduce a growing population of invasive hippos that threaten the country's natural ecosystem and biodiversity. Although she did not directly mention the hippos, the contentious issue in Colombia, Muhammad said during a speech in late January that her ministry would create policies that prioritize animal well-being, including the creation of a new division of animal protection. The hippos escaped from drug cartel leader Pablo Escobar's estate after he died in 1993. Left alone, the male and 3 females that Escobar had illegally imported from a U.S. zoo established themselves in Colombia's Magdalena River and some small lakes nearby, part of the country's main watershed. After years of breeding, the cocaine hippos have multiplied to about 150 individuals, scientists estimate. Given that hippos, hippopotamus amphibious, considered the largest invasive animal in the world, have no natural predators in Colombia, and have been mating at a steady rate, their populations could reach 1,500 in 16 years, according to a modeling study published in 2021. I do not understand what the government is waiting for to act, said Natalie Castablanco Martinez, a Colombian conservation biologist at the Autonomous University of Quintana Roo in Chetumal, Mexico, a co-author of the study. If we don't do anything 20 years from now, the problem will have no solution. Researchers have called for a strict management plan that would eventually reduce the wild population to zero, though through a combination of culling some animals and capturing others, then relocating them to facilities such as zoos. But the subject of what to do with the hippos has polarized the country, with some enamored by the animal's charisma and value as a tourist attraction, and others concerned about the threat they pose to the environment and local fishing communities. A very real threat, because hippos are one of Africa's top killers. I think they may be Africa's top killer when it comes to wildlife. And you're talking about Africa, which is the most dangerous megafauna biome on the planet, right? Nothing in South America is equipped to tackle a hippo. I mean, not that there's anything in Africa that can tackle a hippo, but there are Nile crocodiles that do predate baby hippos. Lions can take down a hippo, working in a pride, but there's nothing in South America that can do anything close to that. There just isn't. Maybe an anaconda could get a baby hippo, but it's going to have a hard time getting a baby hippo, if you get my meaning. It's going to have a hard time getting a hold of it because hippos live in little herds. A bit surreal. Several studies and observations suggest how destructive it could be to allow the Colombian hippo population to explode. In 2019, for example, showed that compared to lakes without hippos, those where the animals have taken up residence contain more nutrients and organic matter that flavor the growth of cyanobacteria, aquatic microbes associated with toxic algae blooms. These blooms can reduce water quality and cause mass fish deaths, affecting local fisheries and communities. Sign near Doradal, Colombia, warns passerbys of the danger of invasive hippos. Yeah, so it's like a warning signs, because barbed wire is not going to stop a hippo. Other scientists have predicted that the hippos could displace endangered species that are native to the Magdalena River, such as the Antillean manatee. So we got a manatee that's being displaced by these hippos by outcompeting them for their food space. They caution that traffic accidents and attacks on people caused by hippos will become more common, obviously, and they warn that wildlife traffickers are already taking advantage of this situation by illegally selling baby hippos, a trend that could intensify. It's a bit surreal, says Jorge Moreno Bernal, a vertebrate paleontologist at the University of Northern Banquilla, Colombia. This is just a taste of what may come. When Colombian authorities first recognized the speed at which the hippo population was growing during the 2000s, they acted to reduce the numbers. But in 2009, when photos appeared online after soldiers gunned down Pepe Escobar's fugitive male hippo, the outcry for animal rights activists and others plunged the environment ministry into institutional paralysis, says Sebastian Restrepo Cali, an ecologist at Aviana University in Bogota. So I'm really getting my my Latin tongue exercise today, trying to read these words and make sure I say them right. Researchers say that the hippos don't belong in Colombia. They are native to sub-Saharan Africa. Simulations run by Casablanco Martinez and her colleagues suggest that to reduce the population to zero by 2033, about 30 hippos would need to be removed from the wild population per year. No other course of action, including sterilization or castration, would eradicate them, according to the modeling of various management scenarios, says Casablanco Martinez. The cost of inaction. The worry now is that instead of basing decisions on evidence and expertise in conservation, the government is listening to popular opinions, says Restrepo Cali. Neither Muhammad nor representatives of the environmental ministry replied to Nature's request for comment. Why prioritize one species over our own ecosystem, especially a species that isn't native? Asked Alejandra Echeverri, a Colombian conservation scientist at Stanford University in California, along with her colleague Echeverry, published a study last month showing that Colombia has few policies governing invasive species compared with its overall number of biodiversity policies. That's a problem with any tropical region, is that most invasive species are going to thrive there to some extent. So you can bring something from Africa to Florida, right? You can bring something from South America to Europe, and they can tend to thrive. And I use those examples on purpose because that's actually been done. So, animal rights advocates, meanwhile, argue they aren't ignoring environmental concerns. Luis Domingo Gomez Maldonado, an animal rights activist and specialist animal law at St. Thomas University in Bogota, says, if it's not about saving the hippos on a whim, but rather about solving the issue while giving the hippos justice. My indisputable position is, let's save as many individuals as possible. Let's do this ethically. Researchers, too, say that they have the animal's best interest in heart, even if advocates don't see it. We care about the hippos. Casablanco Martino says, the more time that passes, the more hippos will either have to be culled, castrated, or captured. The question is whether environmental authorities will act swiftly to draft and enforce a management plan that is both ethical and effective. Should they sit on the issue for too long, Casablanco Martinez warns, rural communities that are most affected by these hippos might take matters into their own hands. If the government doesn't cull them, she says, people will use shotguns to do it. And that's probably true once they start invading agriculture. And there's some citations here, of course, that were used in the article. This is from Nature. So yeah, cocaine hippos. I'm glad that Cocaine Bear was able to give us a chance to launch pad into this topic, so that we could understand what these kind of situations can really lead to, where you have someone taking exotic animals into private collection and not being responsible for them. This happened in the UK with big cats. That's why in the 70s and 80s, we all of a sudden had these big booms of people seeing giant big cats running around the countryside in the UK. That's how that got started. And we've done this with camels. Are a good example for moving camels into Australia. Now they're another large invasive species, probably the second largest, I would say, second only to the hippos in Colombia, as an invasive species that is affecting the natural biomes and the indigenous wildlife. So yeah, keep that in mind. Invasive species, nothing to scoff at today. And I guess this is going to be more of an eco news than a strange science. I thought it was going to be a strange science, but this is eco news. This has been eco news with Pablo Escobar's Cocaine Hippos, discussing this from an article in Nature from March 2nd, 2023, written by Emiliano Rodriguez Mega. So appreciate your contribution to the Hive there, Emiliano. And we do appreciate your articles. If you have any questions or concerns regarding what I have said about the cocaine hippos, certainly feel free to leave it in the comments below. How can hippos have justice? That's basically the comment. I just want to address this comment. Basically, the idea is that the hippos did nothing wrong. They don't deserve to be gunned down because they didn't do anything wrong. They were just born there. Yeah, invasive snakes in Florida is a great example. Yes, invasive species is one of the drums that I beat the most. I'm going to get me a little toy drum that's just write invasive species on it. Just beat it whenever I talk about the topic, because I know I'm beating a dead horse and nobody cares about invasive species but me. But I will keep screaming into the wind, and hopefully my hive will at least listen to me and try to understand what's going on in the world and why we can do things to make it better and change it, but no one's going to. No one with any kind of power anyway. But yeah, we will have to talk about the emu war sometime, Dr. Tapioca Weasel. Actually, I think I should have you on the Buzz. What do you think? Will you come on the Buzz and talk emu war with me? We can talk emu war. Yeah, but please remember to be kind and take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, and everybody watching this on Live from the Hive, thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been a morning. I'm not feeling well. I'm kind of cranky. I think I need to eat something. I got to eat something. I think I'm gonna go make some oatmeal or something, feeling like that, because I'm not feeling good, and everything keeps messing up. And tomorrow's a big day though, so don't forget to hit the bell for the streams already, or the links already out there for. Let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to drop the link for tomorrow's live stream so that you guys can hit the bell for it. Does that sound like a good plan? I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, we watched Little Cthulhu. We watched the JW and Mormon cartoons. And then we watched a slideshow about Scientology. But originally we definitely had a lot of fun exploring the concept of killbots, military robots, and robot police in CryptoCorner, and also a claim that came in from a less than reliable source about a laboratory accident with military robots that has questionable validity. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me in Live from the Hive today. Had a great time going over these topics for you. Again, tomorrow with Megan Lewis, we're returning to Tartaria. If you don't know what Tartaria is or anything about it, please defer to the video that premiered last night on the channel about Tartaria. It is called Tartaria Rex because we mainly focus on dinosaurs from this land, but Tartaria is a much deeper and more profound concept to that, and I will be exploring that with an actual person who has a degree in ancient history, specifically Assyrian history, where a lot of the things that are being claimed to be of Tartarian origin actually find their origin in Mesopotamia, where Megan is quite the expert. So this is going to be a fun ride. Please don't miss that. And then after that, I guess we will see everybody back here for Live from the Hive on Saturday. CryptoCorner premieres on Friday. I'll be there in the side chat. And CreationWatch Wednesday will premiere on Wednesday, and I'll be there in the side chat. And then Monday, you get these nice little science clips. About 15 minutes usually, 15-20 minutes max, sometimes even less than that, sometimes less than 10 minutes. So yeah, check those out on Monday night. They release. Usually they don't premiere, but it depends on how long the topic is. So I will also be releasing more videos on my engagements with other areas of the community, because I seem to be getting some positive responses to sharing those interactions. So I'm going to start clipping out interactions on other people's channels and just releasing them here so you guys can see what I'm up to when I'm outside the hive, or when I'm buzzing around the skeptic YouTube neighborhood. So again, please remember to be kind, take care, and we shall see you next time.
Evolution. believe in evolution.
Yeah, tell them that you believe in evolution.
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 Yeah, tell them that you believe in evolution.
Evolution.
You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution.